Join me. Imagine what we could accomplish together.
I'll join the team, be an X-Man.
We are the future, Charles, not them.
What do you think, I'm stupid?
You and I are not so different.
You can't keep denying what you are, man.
Because I'm the best there is at what I do.
You, me, we're exceptional. The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero.
Plague, war, famine, morality doesn't even enter into it.
I've heard these arguments before.
Think about it, hero!
You are listening to
Move, Throw,
a Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast.
I am Charles, also known as Omnis.
I am Danny, Ira Smart Like Rock.
By the way, after last week, where I had commented on both Danger Room and Alfredo's talking about intros, which was funny that we ended up talking about intros, then Muse also talked about intros. So it felt like everybody just wanted to talk about their intros last week. So that was super funny.
I just feel like we really hit like the stream, the sequence of ours getting it through.
Yeah. We'll only improve. There'll only be more excitement. As actually, some friends of mine are starting a podcast for a totally different game, and I had listened to their first episode today. Yes. And I was immediately, like, do you want feedback? Do you not want feedback? And one of the first things I was like, can I play around with your intro? Can you send me the files? And I want to like put your own voice clips over your intro music. And that was actually like pretty fun. But when I sent the thing to them and I was like, okay, well, this is just real quick. And I did it on my phone. And they immediately sent me the Iron Man meme of like Ironmonger being like, Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. Cause they seemed impressed that I was able to edit their intro on my phone.
That is one of the funniest like roles I think I've just seen him. Like seeing the dude also being that. It's such an interesting.
I had gone back, I don't know, it's probably like 6 months ago, but it felt like it wasn't that long ago, where I hadn't seen very many of his movies, like as a young, like hot actor guy, right? Where he played like the heartthrob male character. I was like, I didn't even know this was a thing.
A whole era for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was funny, but dude, I'm starting to, like, people were asking me only like a few days ago, like, are you ready for Adepticon? And I'm like, are
we almost there? Are we getting there? Are we feeling it? Yeah.
It was kind of like, this is just such a different con for me. I have traveled and planned to record at LVO. This is like, I'm adding twice as much recording equipment to record 2 games. And I'm like, let's see if I have all this stuff to record some like pretty, hopefully reasonably high quality interviews. And so like trying to do all of that at once is a little intimidating, but I feel a lot better. I was like packing everything up. I was like looking at all the little like accessories and like Amazon priming like extra shit to me. Like I want to have a couple extra of this little bit, just in case something goes wrong, trying to like minimize. I've done this enough that I know like shit's going to go wrong. There's just,
it always goes wrong, but we just figure it out. We always figure it out.
Yeah. There's going to be something that I have to figure out on the fly. That's just the world that we live in. But my point is that like after I was like starting to pack stuff up, starting to get like shit organized, figured out the whole schedule. Like I have tomorrow off to like edit this, get everything ready. And so we'll have full episodes and stuff for this week. And so that should be pretty exciting. And, so I'm like, the hype is starting to hit me now.
Yeah, I got like the updates for the flights and everything. I was like, okay, like we're really like getting into this, like getting everything packed, checking all the bags we're gonna have for you. Just in the final marks of what are we gonna do for this whole event? Because it's just like such like you're in the zone once it starts. Yeah. There's so many things going on at any given time.
I'm still trying to fit a Shatterpoint list and a MCP list in my bag, but I'm like, I only want one tray of minis. So I really have to kind of commit to like just one list of each. And I kind of have the Shatterpoint narrowed down, and I'm like struggling to narrow. I think I have like 15 models for MCP.
Well, we can help you with
narrow
that.
Down to 10.
We can talk about all of Adepticon here.
But I wanted to dig into the Adepticon meta because I'm going to intentionally drop this like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning for people to like absorb, for travel. Right. And so, if they want to dig in, build hype, or if you're at home and you're just like, I'm not at Adepticon, getting some FOMO. The MMT boys are here to keep you as involved as possible. So
yes, it's such an interesting place right now too. Like, there's so many things that can happen.
Well, let's start with the Defenders conversation right at the top, right? Viper just won with Defenders. Danger Room was just talking about, their Defenders rosters and how good they're feeling. And so let's start there. Like, obviously it's a very strong list. I heard Alfredo's say that they thought that it wasn't going to do well, that like Kingpin, if Kingpin had been out in a larger force, something like that, it would have kept the Defenders players in check. What are your thoughts? Is the Defenders list like the thing to hunt, or is it more complicated than that right now?
I think there's no true all-comers lists in this game because there's always some edge case you cannot cover. The problem, like they kind of get to there and allude, is that every list has a boogeyman, essentially.
Yeah.
And the question is, are you going to run into that in this matchup and everything? And how common is that going to be? But the thing is Strange in particular, but Defenders has a combination of models that are boogeymen to a lot of other affiliations. And that's the actual scary part. Like Shang-Chi naturally in, Hulk naturally in, Iron Fist naturally in. You're like, oh, this is a lot of people. It is a lot of people. A lot of very good people, in fact.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's a ballbuster list. If I were to make like any sort of just like hot take on it, my gut is that you don't want to play the super fighty stuff unless you're probably playing Defenders. Like that maybe is a slightly extreme take, but I'm not sure I would be bringing Fisk and Wedding Party if I'm not planning to do that. Like, cause I'm just not sure that there's a better thing at those than
the thing is
than the Defenders list.
People think of Hex as the offensive aspect. There's the defensive aspect. Like you're only rolling 3 dice. You're basically only ever rolling 3 or 4 dice for defense. Yeah. And so it's adding up over the course of a match. And so you start taking an extra damage or 2 every round you don't expect to, and everything's just dying faster. And it just keeps happening over and over again because most factions don't have a way to heal, or at least mass heal, right? Any particular way. You slowly just get ground down by Hex. And Hex is just a very debilitating status condition, and it's just very apparent how it can affect the game.
Agreed. So yeah, it does feel strong, but like one of the things that was really hit home, like in the episode with Viper, is just how defensive that list actually is. It's not in the way that a lot of the kind of damage focused lists have been in the past for MCP. It's a list that's also very tanky. It's an attrition list in the truest form. Right?
Yes.
It dishes it out. It also, it has ways to disrupt bodyguards. It has and it has all of the defenses. It kind of does a little bit of everything for an attrition list.
The thing that made me very sad against playing Hyper Viper was Bill coming through pentagrams first activation and hammering X23 and me getting shocked and hexed and just sort of thinking about this activation and going like, what is she going to do? Right? Shake 2 conditions and stand in front of Bill. Try to hurt Bill with 4 dice, no crits exploding. Like, that doesn't sound like a great proposition fighting Bill. It's like, this is very bad.
You played Children of the Atom.
Yeah. And it's like, what else? But this is like the situation you get into playing against them is that you have escape card 1 or 2 times, and then what do you do over the course of multiple rounds where you're not able to get at the efficacy, right? And it's just like very hard to be. And the other benefit they have is just Strange. Like Strange 1 after that buff is insane. He's so good.
Yes.
Like he's very efficient. He's the heal, like just constantly doing everything you want and just keeping everything like together, even without the soul or no soul.
So thinking about Strange, Bill, Blue Marvel, and this like kind of really tanky trio of models, it got me thinking that is this actually a time where X-Men rises. And I know we're often considered a mutant podcast, but
what are you trying to say?
I mean, genuinely, Emma's a problem solver here.
Yes.
Right? Where Emma can stop, like if she's attacking, Strange can't put up shields, Blue Marvel can't do his rerolls, and Bill can't reduce damage. Right? And on top of all of that, she has displacement on both sides of her card to get them away from points, and they're a very immobile team for the most part. Yeah. Right? Like, is this a time where like Emma specifically, like, do you think this actually pushes maybe an X-Men, Hellfire Club, Brotherhood list, like, up because they have such easy access to Emma, and like, maybe she is just really good in this meta?
One, I love Emma, but I think Hellfire is due for a comeback. One, Taskmaster is still ridiculous, and there are several threes you can shove into that point, or there's a couple fours you can go. I love Psylocke. Nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with Storm. There's just so many ways.
Psylocke's still a really
Psylocke is perfectly fine. So I think that the crossover you're talking about is that Hellfire just slots in very easily into all the mutant lists. There's usually, outside of Emma, there's usually one or two in every other mutant affiliation. You're like, okay, I can make this work with Hellfire and take another model to make it work. You're like, sure, that's fine. And having that switch lets you play in a lot of Hellfire affiliation is still very good, right? Like the actual leadership is insane.
Yeah.
So the question then becomes, hey, can you take advantage of it over the course of the game? And it goes around these auto damage or throws and everything. You're like, I'm just going to keep healing and power through everything, which defenders can't deal with necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to stay alive, and so you got to like survive the front loaded attack. But I think there's certainly a world where Emma might be my pick for maybe the most important model in this particular meta if you're trying to disrupt that list. I mean, if you've already got something figured out and you're like, Defender's not a problem.
Just go
like, I got these boys. Then probably not speaking to you. But I think for a lot of other lists, like, she's never really been considered a character that you would splash, right? She was considered a character that was holding back Hellfire Club, and she was like the anchor dragging it down, where it was the other four models that were just doing so much, and you were just going, well, I got Emma's leadership. But now she's really good, and she is probably quite good into that specific matchup. And so that definitely seems like something that's rising. But on the flip side, I'm also thinking Emma's biggest problem is action economy. Is she the tech piece for the Defenders players as well for the mirror match?
She's a very good 4 right now. Like, anything you can do to abuse either her transformation or giving her extra power, like the condition bend will and condition hexing someone is very satisfying.
Yes.
You're like, walk away and now you're sad. Have fun.
So, like, obviously Bill's a really strong character, but I think possibly in the mirror, it's not as important to bring Bill. Right? If you know you're playing a Defenders matchup, like, would you like, if you're playing that matchup, would you rather have Bill or would you rather have Emma? And you would. It might actually be Emma.
It is absolutely Emma because Emma dunks on Bill. Emma makes Bill very sad in that matchup.
Yeah.
Which is like, actually, no.
Yeah. Blue Marvel and Doctor Strange are not fans of her either.
No. And so I don't know if she carries the list, but I think she's a good supplement to like a cohesive plan. She's a very easy slot in. How about that? To help supplement a plan where you feel like you have a weakness towards that affiliation. And she's good enough where she just fits in a lot of game plans.
Well, and it could facilitate a potential dual affiliation option for them.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I know that I've heard, Viper had even mentioned, oh, well, in these situations, right, I just play unaffiliated or, play leaderless, right? Not unaffiliated, but they play leaderless. And you're like, oh, Strange is bad in these situations. It feels like you could probably make a Hellfire Club or an X-Men thing or something potentially work where you play that. Because it's like, say you're doing Storm hypothetically, right? That could open up Hellfire Club, and it could open up a Stormhawk X-Men, which like Blue Marvel is a fan of that leadership as well.
Very excited. So I think mutants having played mutants for a while, right? They have a line in this particular meta where I think they have some interesting cards. Like Xavier's Dream is a very good card.
Yeah.
Very good. Children of Adam has saved me several times now. Like, just randomly. I was like, oh, I could just twice. Like, I'll take 2 power and walk away, actually.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. I'm like, we're okay.
Well, and Defenders is actually not that card heavy.
Nope.
Right? They're.
You just want Mystic Ward, really.
Like, you think about the core of that list. Bill's not bringing cards, really. Echo's not bringing cards. Blue Marvel's card is Mighty Avengers only. Mm-hmm. Right? And then you got Doctor Strange and Pentagrams, right? Like, you actually have card space to facilitate, something like this as well as your alternative plan.
Which is what you want, like a duel, right? Is having like a low threshold for cards.
So it feels like there's a lot of potential there. And obviously, like, X-Men does not mind playing Echo. X-Men does not mind playing Bill. X-Men does not mind playing Blue Marvel. And even Doctor Strange is, like, actually pretty interesting.
Doctor Strange hopping over things and just double bolting, it makes people sad. You're like, no!
So, yeah, it definitely feels like there could be something there. But I'll be honest, I'm also, maybe we come back to Emma a little bit at some point. But, so there's this discussion about Kingpin coming around and the discussion about Defenders. And my brain is like, why not both? Echo's a criminal.
That
right?
is true.
So you already like naturally building into it. Bill is a very natural character to play in Kingpin criminals as well. Right? Like, it feels like you could absolutely be showing up. Like, if you give me a situation, if I get stuck in a situation that's actually bad for pentagrams, I will fucking Kingpin your shit.
The thing is,
those few missions are good for Kingpin.
When you say that, my counterpoint is that Ironmonger is around now, and I just want to play like Shadowlands and Kingpin, and just like dance around the board, punching people, and just play around Ironmonger, making people very sad because he plays them both fine.
Is Ironmonger a criminal? Did I miss that?
I'm pretty sure he's Criminal Cabal.
Okay, I knew he was going to be, but I realized I hadn't actually looked at the affiliation list. Holy shit, is that boy a criminal? That might change.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I mean, Ghostier usually updates this shit right away.
Yes, so Cabal Criminal Syndicate, baby.
Oh my goodness.
I was pretty sure. I was like, no, he is a criminal. Like, he.
Oh my lord.
Shadowlands loves this guy. Are you kidding me?
I love this guy. And I love Shadowlands. Am I just playing Shadowlands? And,
so this is my counter argument. As like, why would I duel Defenders who I could just duel those two, right? And still take Echo, right? And still just like party down the whole party.
The conversation was essentially that, like, if Defenders is the best list and you're trying to round it out for those other situations, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be playing Ironmonger because he's fucking exciting. That's the one model I'm 100% sure that I was bringing was Ironmonger. But yeah, so do you think that this is a world where maybe people should be considering a Defenders Kingpin, or did you like the Defenders kind of like X-Men Emma like combo more?
I think the X-Men, Emma X-Men combo is potentially better because Emma herself is better into the matchup, and you have Children of the Atom for another model. So essentially you have two different vectors of trying to make something happen where most people only really get one. And then you can take other models or things to sort of alleviate that. You can always take Wong, right? Like, you don't have to take Toad, right? There's nothing stopping you from doing stuff if you really want to focus on this matchup. I think this is where it kind of gets into like the matchup and how much should you focus on remediating the hex versus trying to just ignore that game plan and force your own, right? This is like the other thing is like, how much do you really want to warp your list to being anti-defenders and be like, okay, well, is this really what you want?
But I mean, Emma seems like the pick to just tweak that matchup. And yeah, I'm definitely all in on feeling like, okay, Emma adds to this in a really special way. And I'm really interested to see if people do it. I'm not sure if people are like on this thought process yet, right? Because like if Emma did not seem like a character you would splash, right? And so I think unless you were actively playing X-Men and playing her and going, wait a second, she's actually really good in this matchup, you have to kind of be in that spot to realize that maybe you should be playing her in Defenders.
One of the other things that makes it very good is that the scenarios you want to take as X-Men potentially screw over Defenders. like, they don't love pay to flips. Like, they're not all about that life necessarily and running around, because, like, now they're spending all their power, which is making pentagrams potentially harder to pull off, and also Mystic War potentially harder to pull off, depending on what's going on here. And if you're able to start cascading your power faster than them, it makes for an easier game for you to try to roll through there, with Emma and everything on top of there.
Yeah. I will say, I'm not sure they're bad for defenders.
Not bad, but
Like,
they're not...
Yeah.
necessarily,
they're not.
Madman is interesting because 3 physical and strange means he's not necessarily great for stealing points. And you can steal underneath him, which makes it kind of annoying for him. Because you can throw him away.
But I feel like Defenders is probably more worried about Cosmic Invasion, Extremist Consoles, and Scoundrels. That feels like they would be more hesitant to play on that sort of spread than the shapes that they got for the pay to flips.
Oh, see, but the only pay flips I generally take are like Madman and the wider H.
Yeah, the wedding one.
Yeah, the wedding one. Because McCran is too small because you're just going to get yourself killed.
Yeah.
And I basically try to stay
the chances of them having to play on like one of those two is just kind of small. And
I'm just saying it helps have every advantage.
Yes. But if I was building counter defenders, I would probably be leaning into the D's and Scoundrels.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think Emma's really good in this. I'm really hopeful that I would love to see somebody who's like doing worlds that like embraces one of these Emma plans, because I think she might be the unsung hero of this particular meta. But let's shift to talking about one of the others. Do you feel more like talking about Apocalypse next or Convocation?
Let's talk about Apocalypse first. I feel like this is like an interesting conversation to have towards the middle of this podcast, right? Is one, Apocalypse just sort of disappearing because everyone got afraid of him being Tech 4 of the meta. But 2, I don't think his game plan is bad, right? If we're saying that Defenders is good because they can hex you and condition you, you can't do anything, then by that same logic, Apocalypse's game plan of conditioning you and preventing you from doing things should, by theory, still work. Then the question is, hey, is it that they're just better at the game plan and therefore they win out? Or is there something like you need to unlock into that matchup to make it easier?
Yeah, I would be really surprised if we were still not seeing like a significant amount of Apocalypse. I think a little bit of it was boredom with Apocalypse and people shifting away from it a little bit. But if you told me that the finals had Apocalypse in it, I would not be surprised in the fucking slightest. It is still a really good list, and they might not have like as easy of a time with crisis selection as they did 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And so like they have a few more matchups that get a little bit dicey, but at the same time, people have been practicing it pretty extensively and are going to be quite good with it and quite effective with it. And I think it's still going to be there. And I think you need to like, there's still a lot of things in a lot of situations where like you can get totally fucked by Apocalypse and just like Pestilence Beast making your life awful.
Like it's just that particular list, just like the Pestilence Beast and Apocalypse being able to get into your face so quickly that if you haven't experienced it, it's just like so much information at once. You're like, oh, I don't know what to do, which is bigger threat to me right now, what should be happening. And even if you have, if you don't make the correct choices in placement, you're now putting yourself in very weak positions. Because Apocalypse is very position heavy, where he's like, you made a bad play. Celestial Tech, I'm zooming you, you're dead. My death guy kills this person over here. Okay, GG, bye.
Now, maybe this is Omnis is just wrong moment, but let me ask you the question I'm thinking in my head. If you were betting money, like a significant amount of money, and you had to pick one, list concept to make it to the finals, would you be more likely to bet on Apocalypse being in the finals, or would you be more likely to bet on Defenders being in the finals?
Man, that is so hard.
You need it.
Well, I think by numbers, there will probably be more Defenders players. Just because people tend to like playing good guys more than bad guys. So I think just by ratio, people will want to play defenders. Strange considering the good camp. But I think Apocalypse very easily could make it to finals, and I would not be surprised at all.
See, I was thinking that we might actually see more Apocalypse than Defenders. And not necessarily that Apocalypse is better than Defenders, but people start getting nervous when there's a Worlds right around the corner. Yes. And there's times where they're like, do I understand this Defenders team well enough in this short window? Do I think I'm good enough at playing pentagrams? Do I think I understand this matchup well enough? And it's became the meta boogeyman almost overnight. And so they know that all of the best players are planning around that list. That can scare people off of playing a particular thing. So I think, like, if we look at the top 16, I think there will definitely be like high level Defenders players in the top 16. Yes. But if I'm looking at the whole event, I would not be surprised if there was more Apocalypse people. And so, like, there's just kind of some odds here of going like, man, it would, Apocalypse feels like it's going to be in the finals to me. But it's like, that's really I'm not saying that like it's the best list, but it just feels really good. It feels really popular. It's the thing that people get to play mutants with for the most part. My gut says that there would be an Apocalypse list.
Yeah, I was more surprised at Apocalypse showing at CarlCon, I think, than anything. Mostly because I think he's still a very good model. Like, it's still a very good list. I think the main perception right now is the whole scenario selection not being favored, right? But I think that was the whole goal, right? A scenario selection is to not have favored lists and to sort of make it a little more unknowable.
But also, like, before pentagrams got nerfed and cost 3, right? Like, when you could play it turn 1, it was still not a popular list. Yeah. And that makes me think that fundamentally that maybe this is going to sound a little bad, but it might be a little too skill intensive for the Unga Bunga, if you know what I mean, right?
I guess you. I think it's
a complicated list to play, and so I think some of the people who just want to fight this might be like a little like not quite as much like I'm here to roll dice and fuck shit up. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think this is ultimately good for the game and that there should be complex lists. I think I see very clearly what you're getting at here. And it's that, part of the issue I see with Defenders, why I'm not necessarily excited to play it, is that it's kind of boring in a way. And what I mean is you are just very acutely going, I just need to target the correct models, the hex, early enough that I can just hopefully rearrange board states with pentagrams and target key models, reposition things. And so I just feel like you're just very tactically disassembling, like scalpeling your opponent's list and disassembling it and be like, okay, cool. You can't fight me. I'm done. Like, the game's over at this point. And we're just rolling through and see what happens. And to me, that's not as exciting as I'm going to hoodwink and use his fancy tricks and pull these moves across the boards and everything.
We are movement pro. There's a reason, but
I'm not saying it's bad. It's very telegraphed, I guess you should say.
Well, Defender still seems like your order of activation is a whole lot less obvious, right? Like,
yes.
Compared to like these like Thanos lists of the past, Malekith lists of the past. Like, a lot of the time it's like, oh, very clear. I kill you with my shit to like execute that character at the beginning of the round. And like, there's a lot more like pure muscle memory, but like, there's a lot of subtlety to which order you activate the characters in, who needs to generate power. Do you need to heal right away? Do you want to wait to heal after their first activation? You know, it feels like a more interesting, fighty list is, I guess, what I'm saying.
What I think I see as both a strength and weakness that list is, to your point, is that it has a lot of options. Right? Yes. Which on one hand, it's like, hey, in every situation, there's always something you can do. Like, there is something you can pull out of your magic hat and be like, okay, let's make something happen here, right? Get hurt, heal. Getting attacked, extra dice. right? Need to move up the board, pentagrams. Something happening, Mystic Ward. I don't know. Like, just make something happen here. And so because of that, you have so many options. I keep
forgetting about Mystic Ward.
Yeah. Getting to that part, right? But because of that, it can, one, be overwhelming for you, right? This is like the skill ceiling problem. But two, it's very easy to spend all your resources early and be like, oh, that feels really good. And then immediately lose round 3 because you blew everything round 2 and be like, oh, that was a very bad idea. Like, that was terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have talked about the defenders list enough. I stand by my, like, I have a feeling, and like, maybe it's even if I was betting on like what's going to win, I might still be betting on Apocalypse, where I just get this feeling that it's going to get won by Apocalypse, and there's going to be this whole discussion about like, we thought the Apocalypse reign was over. Right? Like, I feel it on the horizon. Like, this is the moment, like, it happens every time when the big bad, like the smallest knock at it happens. And then a bunch of people give up on it. The meta like slowly calms on it. People aren't planning for it. And then it just turns around and wins the next big thing. And people are like, no, Alec is still really fucking good. You know, like I feel like it's going to be that.
The thing about Apocalypse is that there's always the doomsday scenario for the Defenders player is that them killing Apocalypse is terrible for them. They're like, oh no, I killed Apocalypse. Uh-oh. You killed Apocalypse. And then he just goes ultra mode on you. Or in like the other situations, I see the wake up death or the wake up war just exploding on a model. So they don't even have time to hex the model before they kill something. Right. And they start the train that fast where it's like, oh, you don't have the ability to get hex on a model because the model that you would have used to get hex on them is dead, and then they have priority, so they get to activate again. And so at no point do you actually get to use your leadership on this model because they're just moving so quickly. So if you can keep that, snowball that effect, Apocalypse can just win the game outright. So like, what is Strange going to do to Apocalypse? Like, hey,
I think the Defender's plan is absolutely to ignore Apocalypse and pick off the Horsemen. Yeah. But I think this might be a scenario where Apocalypse wants to plan to play 4 wide, like depending on the scenario, right? And so shout out to the Muse guys. Colin had done really well. It was like 5-1 with Apocalypse with Loki Mindstone.
Yes, and people were confused to the Loki play. Yeah,
right. But if you have Pestilence, if you're rooting their characters and you're like catching them under the Loki bubble, that could cause real issues. And you can like, all of those guys can be mind stoned, right? And so just like disrupting, getting people off of the portal and that sort of thing. There might be a world where you play something like that. Apocalypse, I'm not saying Apocalypse the same list. I am saying that it probably needs to evolve a little bit. But my gut is there's going to be some people that are ready for that. So
I think it's still just, he's a very strong model. All the horsemen can be very strong. And especially in key matchups, they could do a lot of damage very quickly. And it's just like, and they still have to worry about the Pestilence Beast themselves. Like, they don't have a fast way of getting rid of conditions either. So like, they start getting rooted. They're like, oh, this is bad. I'm like, yes, it's very bad for you.
Well, and if there's less Apocalypse players, the Apocalypse mirror was kind of awful. So, but okay, let's probably enough Apocalypse and Defenders. I do want to talk about Convocation.
Yes.
You had done very well with it. Zach's doing very well with it right now. It is the other Strange, so we're still talking about a Strange, but this feels like Convo could be doing really well.
This is again that like spread of the field where Convocation tends to do very well. Yeah. Because Convocation has very good matchups into a lot of different scenarios. And so it's hard for them to have a bad matchup, essentially. And so they're just like, okay, well, I can just do this game plan, no matter what happens here. So like, I don't really care what you're trying to do here. You want to fight? Sure, we can fight. You don't want to fight? Don't have to fight. Yeah. Yeah. And they just have it's a combination of like, Supreme Strange and Voodoo. Like, I love Wongers, but Voodoo is the man, right? Like, he just does so much in this current matchup where even if they take like the 3 extracts, you can still, I'm Voodoo. Who cares? Just drop that. Come back to me. And that keeps the game going long enough that you can use a Strange advantage to reposition the board state or reposition, where the matchup's going to be turned from there.
Yeah. It seems like Voodoo could definitely be quite good in the Defenders game, right? Where you're just like, I don't have to break your bunker. I'm gonna, and holy fuck, does a lot of that list not want to be teleported range 3?
No.
Like, no.
Like regular Strange gets so sad. He goes, "Oh, I can't." You're like, "No, we're not fighting. You're just going away.
Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah. And then Supreme, if he really wants to, he can just be like, "I'm going to just do physical attack." Like, we can just kill you. If I really want to go for this, we can just go all in.
Yeah. Well, and because that medium place, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, it is longer than a medium move. Yeah. Right? Like, it causes real problems for Strange and for Blue Marvel, where like
there's several battles where they're just sad. Like, they're very, very, even Bill is very sad going that far. He's like, you have to double walk back. Like, okay, that's okay, Bill. That sure, I will take it. Right.
So yeah, I think Convo is well suited to be hanging out in the meta. I'm not sure we're going to see that much of it. It's still like, it's just never been a faction that caught on with a lot of people. No,
I think their place in the meta will always be this, is that they will just be the lone shark of the meta, where they'd be like a handful of them at a big event that managed to do well.
Done. That's my shark.
And just slowly like work their way up. Because like they just like knife their way through a lot of fights and go like, it's okay.
Okay. I want to talk about the two new big boys. Who do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about Adam, or do you want to talk about Kakang?
Let's end with Gudrun. Let's talk with Kang. Let's talk, because I want to talk Cabal in general, right? I have seen so many opinions about Kang, and it's so interesting. And here's my basic point of view on Kang: is there's no way that leadership is bad. All right.
Right.
There's no way that leadership is bad. It is impossible. It is straight up impossible. Unlocking skulls
leadership is definitely
so crazy, because people forget that unlocking skulls means cover works all of a sudden. Right. It's just modified dice. Like, it doesn't specify anything. It's like, oh, you can do really goofy stuff with this. Right. And start just affecting people when they don't expect it. And so just being able to, any character modify dice, then you start getting into the funny reality warpers, and you have like your red skulls, right, going in like, yes, we want to punch and fight and do very, very fun stuff while your fun die and kill everyone now.
Yeah. Well, and you got obviously the access to Ironmonger now, and like Zemo's affiliated. Like,
so good.
There is this ability to bring like a really solid list, and like the recal shenanigans, which is another reason why people might want to be considering playing Emma. But it feels solid. It feels, I don't know if I want to call it a dark horse, but it feels very dark horse to me in this moment, where it's like people don't know what to think of it yet. I've heard people say like, oh, I've got this ballbuster list. I've heard other people say, I've been playing against it. It's complete trash. It feels to me like something where there's going to be a specific build, right? There's going to be not like a generalist, like, oh, Kang's just really fucking good all the time, and you just put good models with him and he's good. There's going to be something weird to it where you're like, in this combination, Kang actually becomes really scary. And I think that's going to show up at Worlds. I would be really surprised if there was not a Kang in the top 16. Maybe that's a little bit of a hot take, but I feel like somebody's got that sauce.
I think it's Killmonger.
What?
I think it's actually Killmonger with Kang.
You think it's Killmonger?
I think it's Usurped Throat. I think it's the free VPs. I think it's Ironmonger, Killmonger, right? And Kang, and you have three models. One can steal extracts or make drop, right? You have another one that can create VPs. And the thing that kills Killmonger is that he gets rerolls, but skulls screw him over. Unlocking skulls make him excited again.
Kang, Monger, so Kang, both Mongers, and Zemo is 16.
Yeah, right, that's Fist. Great. Let's go, right? Let's absolutely go with this fight, because it's all in damage with rerolls and extra VPs. Because I think the game plan, because your point is like, I think it's an accelerated fight with the specificity is getting VPs. You're like, I'm trying to score points and actually end the game on round 3. and fight my way to do it. Like, oh, you grabbed that? I don't care. Mine now.
Yep. There could be something scary there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be betting that Kang is in the finals, but like I said, I think there will be a Kang in the top 16. And I think it'll be exciting. I will probably try to record a
skulls. Like, there's just no way it's bad. It's just impossible. It's absolutely impossible.
Okay. Let's switch over and talk about Adam Warlock. What you seem like you had things that you wanted to say.
Man, Adam is such an interesting character because he kind of just warps a lot of conversations. This is like the high threat model problem, right? Is like, how do you balance around these characters and how is it supposed to work? Is that I don't feel like there's a real good way to deal with him. Like, there's no real good way to mitigate him. There's no real good way to select his attacks. Like, he could just do so much damage with reality that even like your, not Iron Fists, your Luke Cages, your Okoyes, they just explode. Like, absolutely just get demolished. And you're like, okay, well, that model died too quickly and now my defender is gone. So I'm just going to melt.
Okay.
And so I think it's just going to be, and here's the problem. I don't even necessarily think it's the best list in the meta. I just think it's the CGR round one problem all over again, which is that it's so warping to a lot of people that even if it just does okay, it's what you're going to hear about the entire time. Right? Like, it's all you're going to hear about. And if it wins, oh man, it's going to be the worst.
So my thought on it is that I don't think that we would see like necessarily like a raw Guardians, like pure Guardians. But I think the Adam Warlock build, because you would potentially run it very tall, could be a really interesting splash. And I think someone is going to have it figured out where they're like, I've got my plan A. But if you put me in these fucked up situations, you're going to have to do with like Adam, Bill, CGR or something, right? Like, it's going to be something like that, and it's going to be scary.
I think any list that naturally wants to take Bill has the potential to see the Adam include in like a Taskmaster or if it happens to have a crossover. Just a lot of the Guardians don't have that many crossovers with affiliations, but getting a cheap 3 like Taskmaster and then fitting it whatever you want is perfectly fine.
Agent Venom.
Agent Venom. He is still everywhere.
Right? Like he is still a very splash worthy 4 threat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's not the flashiest 4 threat, but he's still a really solid character. I think he might be slightly problematic, when you're staring down Blue Marvel and Doctor Strange. Probably not his favorite situation, but he's a guy who can still I get rid of the Hex. I get rid of the Shocks, right? Like,
get rid of all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't care about those things. So if he's alive, you're not really just like status affecting him.
Yes. This is why it's hard for me to even like look at Adam in a vacuum. And I think this problem will sort of keep happening as you have like these high threat characters, is like, how do they fit into the meta, and by nature of being high threat, they warp things around them. Right. Okay. Man. But the thing is, outside of Adam, I think the core Guardians lists just isn't that interesting to me again. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot of scenarios really are like tuned to them, like the Secures, where it feels like they have a strong advantage versus like Defenders or having some of the other slightly more mobile factions. And then you have, you can go into fight scenarios, but then you're sort of going into the I'm rolling dice and hope it goes well plan. Okay. And that goes into the reality, and that's like the warping factor. Because things I've played fights, I played Malekith, like OG Malekith, right? Like, it's not that fighting can't work. It's that when fighting, I was saying this to actually a friend recently. The thing about aggressive lists that's hard is that when they're going well, you have no interaction. You're just watching your models die. You're just sitting there going like, okay, like, yeah, just wrap it up. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just a little.
Right.
Just a lot
And
of
then
bullshit.
it doesn't feel like a good interaction for you because as your ability to have reprisals are going away, it's a snowball effect. You just start losing faster.
Yeah.
Right. And so it feels like a bad experience. So this is the problem I have with Adam. This is the problem with CGR. It's that there's this fine line of being too good, where even if they're only too good 70% of the time, it feels like 100% at the time.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
Like it's just enough where like they just hit jackpot enough times. You're like, I hate this. I hate this interaction. I hate doing this. I don't want to play this anymore. And that's where it starts evolving into like the nuclear threat scenario of who can out nuke the other person faster. And this is like the ultimate, that's where you start seeing like like the Thor 2 in every list. That's you start seeing that infinity start happening. Like that's why it starts happening.
He's not that good, but okay.
It's the same theory, right?
So we got Kang and we got Adam Warlock. Which one do you think is going to do better in Worlds? Like at the end of the event, which one do you think will have a player who is ranked higher? And
I feel like, okay, well, I can do it this way.
Okay.
I think there will be more high level players playing Adam Warlock than would be playing Kang. Because I think Adam Warlock's game plan is simpler to accomplish. It's just roll dice, win games. Versus Kang, you're trying to play like this custom, like this unique game plan that you're trying to tune towards yourself. I think it's more work, essentially.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. So, if I understand you correctly, that you would believe that like at the end of the event, and we just look down the rankings, there is not going to be a Kang person above a Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock there will be an Adam Warlock above the top ranked Kang player.
Yes, I would make that call. Yeah, I'll make that call here. Yeah.
Do you want to? I want to take the Kang side. So
sure, yeah, we can take this bet.
You want to beer bet it? Okay,
we can beer bet this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So beer bet, Kang ends up higher for me. Adam Warlock ends up higher for you. Do we need a tiebreaker? Like, in my head, I was thinking we're going straight SOS. So like, even if both went X and 1, whichever one ended up higher is just the one that ended up higher.
Yeah. Oh, we'll go with that.
Yeah. That was my thinking. But okay. So I had kind of taken like Apocalypse as being more likely to be in the finals than Defenders, which feels like I might be taking a bad bet. This might be a bad hunch, but who would you take? Like if you're picking like one faction to be in the finals, like
again, I think it's Defenders. And here's the reason why ultimately I think it's Defenders is that they have always been straddling the meta, right? Like that was original Pentagram's play. That was that was Daredevil change. Like he came back for a while. There's this change. Like people want to play Defenders, right? Like there's clearly conditioned people who are interested in playing Defenders. I think because of that, you're more likely to see Defenders players, and therefore they are going to win by numbers.
Okay. I think I'm still going to go Apocalypse.
Yeah, you're still wrong, but
yeah, I'm I'm more worried about this one than the Kang one for some reason. I just have a weird feeling, and I feel like I want to trust my ominous instincts, right or wrong.
Hey, baby, it's 2 beers, betting, right?
Yeah, so beer bet as to which one gets in the finals. If they are both in the finals, then we'll do tiebreaker who wins.
Okay. Man, well, I guess we have to call it that. We have to have a new bet, right? For the heads up matchup. Like, let's say like that, it's the final match, right? Okay. Is the 2 sets here clashing.
Well, that's where it's probably bad for me because I think Defenders wins it heads up. I think Apocalypse, if it can just dodge Defenders, probably goes all the way. You know.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, let's write this down so we can remember that.
Okay, how about this? We will come up with a new bet on the spot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're going to have to do that.
We will, rather than just who wins, because I think that is bad for me, because we will come up with a different bet to tiebreak on the spot. Maybe we'll bet on the score or something.
Okay. So we get to know this. Well, no. We're overthinking this. We will figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out in the moment. based on the situation. All right. Do you have any other things that you wanted to make sure that we talked about, or something else that we want to bet to our alcoholism?
Sam Wilson should come back to the meta. Like, I know Mighty Avengers came out recently, right? And they are just, Sam has been gone so long and does well in a lot of these matchups. And he wants to around do things. And Sam hilariously does well against Strange, because Strange can get pushed by Sam. It just gets tossed around randomly.
Yep. And it's like, do you want to spend all of that power? Like, even if you just roll a Sam attack and you're like, why made you spend 5 power? Because you added 2 dice and then did rerolls just so you don't get shoved. Like, my one attack, I gained 1 power to subtract 5 from you.
I love it. And then the times they don't shield and you randomly kill someone makes them so angry.
Oh yeah. Yeah. One of my local like Shatterpoint players who's been like, I've been telling him like, oh, I'll give you like a demo on like the current state of MCP. He was asking about Sam, and I was like, I'm not sure there's ever been a meta where Sam was not good. Like, since he came out, I think he's fallen out of favor at times. But I could absolutely see him coming back. So is he kind of, would you say that like Sam Avengers might be your like sort of,
I think that's the dark horse. That is the dark horse. Yeah. Yeah. They just come out of nowhere and surprise everyone because no one has any like game plan for them. You can still do the classic Samless voodoo and Bill still around like, okay. Yeah. You still have all the pieces you need to. I think they play well in all the scenario combinations. There's nothing where they feel poor onto. Against super aggressive, there's still Sam leadership, just being Sam. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with any of those models. And then Blue Marvel, if you want to either swap to Mighty Avengers or just be running Blue Marvel, right? Because he's just going to start punching models all over the board and be a problem to deal with. It's like the Scarlet Witch you always wanted, right?
I think my dark horse pick will be Storm X-Men. I think Storm X-Men with Emma will be my darky pick.
I think
we picked the 3 threat leaders, you know, two of the best better 3 threat leaders in history.
I think that's actually kind of interesting when you think about it. The 3 threat leaders have started to disappear because the fancy 4 threats, but nay, we shall rise again.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm do you think this is a more interesting meta than it was last year?
I think overall the game is a much more interesting place than it was. I think it's very easy to focus on a couple models and say like, oh, everything's terrible. But when you kind of take a step back,
the event was won by A-Force, so that was pretty exciting. Like DeLuca came through and showed like She-Hulk love to the whole community and took home a big dub with A-Force. I'm not sure we were going to get something that exciting this year.
I mean, Gen rules. So I can't be mad about Gen. And seeing like the new Gen is just like, so close to all of the gamma mutates, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do something slightly off meta. Do you think we're going to be able to pick, like, we know that there's the alt sculpt Mephisto is being released, which I'm planning on buying, by the way, because I don't have enough Mephisto yet. So I am planning to pick up the alt sculpt Mephisto while I'm there. But past him, do you think we're gonna have any of these boxes available? Do you think we're
the con exclusive thing?
Hotness? You know, not necessarily con exclusive, but maybe, you know, like, is the Gen box gonna be for sale at Adepticon? Do you have any spicy prediction on the thing?
Yeah, I mean, from a business perspective, right? Like, it kind of does and doesn't make sense to sell them outside of the con itself, right? Because you need distributors and everything, so direct sales. Yeah. So I could see them having exclusives at cons that they run or have them as prize supporters or give them out that way. I just don't know if they become like their own product line, I should say.
I feel like they did last year. I thought Asmodee like had a booth and
they sold
selling.
But they only sold at the I thought they only sold some of that stuff there. I didn't think they sold everything online as well.
Yeah. I think they had put some stuff online, but I just wouldn't be surprised. You know, like War Machine did it back in the day. You'd go to a con and they would like pre-release some stuff. And so you could buy boxes at the con that were coming out like within a couple of months or so was very common. And I would not be surprised. Like, why Asmodee wants money? Like, why wouldn't they, unless it was just not cost effective to bring it to Milwaukee?
Well, that's what I was thinking of them staying as Klon exclusives, is that it, in a way, it makes sense for a distribution point of view to send it to themselves effectively. If then to bring it to cons, sell it out and be done, instead of like, hey, sending it now to distributors, having that, like, go through that whole process when it's like, how much time and energy do you really want to spend on this versus like, hey, this is something cool, done, right? And just walk away.
Yeah, totally fair. Yeah.
With that said, is there anything else you wanted to go over? Right? Because I went over Sam. I think that's an interesting one. I think there's always a conversation of webs, and I think people will really wax and wane on webs because it's weird how matchup dependent they can be sometimes. Because you can pick the wrong models when it comes to webs and just start getting boxed out.
This is one of the things that I'm probably most disappointed about when webs got pushed out, is that we ended up not having the webs for LVO, and then they never really had their big con, right?
They just slide through.
And that's one of the things, like, if they had released on time, and so we could have had people playing webs at LVO, there would have been like all sorts of web excitement, but then there just wasn't really another big thing. And I know Warfare Weekend was still after it, but that doesn't have like a big, like a huge MCP community or anything. So it just didn't really get its shot to shine until like other stuff was hitting and like the meta adjusted. And so like, I love seeing people still like learning a new thing at the convention scene and like seeing what happens with it. And I'm a little sad that webs lost their thunder because we were all like hyped about the leadership card that's not a leadership card. And it feels like it just never really came to pass.
Something I wanted to talk about. We mentioned earlier about Cabal, but didn't talk about Dracula and how he, like, him and the monsters, and really, I guess we're going as Midnight Suns is really good at here. Yeah. Is that, like, they're in such an interesting place because they were the boogeyman for a while and then just completely evaporated. Just completely evaporated. Dusted,
I did shout out Dracula a little bit because it was funny. He's been sitting in my bathroom for like months because something happened and I wanted to like rinse him off. And then I set him on my windowsill in the bathroom and just like kept forgetting he was there.
Yeah.
And then so finally like brought him out and I was thinking, I'm like, he's Cabal. Yeah. He might actually be the 5 in this new like Killmonger team, right? And I was like, I should probably actually get him painted, which I don't think I have time for that. But
that's why I think it's just such an interesting, there's got to be something there. There's so many killers in Cabal that it's a skull unlocked in a reroll. It's like, man, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
and because it's once per turn, Dracula gets out his counterattack. Right? So it's like, how's that bad? How is that bad? Skull unlock counterattacks? Like, what?
It cannot be. And, if we're in a situation where the offensive meta is swinging back, right, having a model that people don't want to attack.
Yeah, he's like, okay, that's fine. I'll just keep beating you up. Yeah. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I was definitely like, ooh, is he primed for a little action here somewhere? But yeah, overall, I'm pretty excited. I'm like starting to feel like stuff is packed up, organized. And so I'm definitely getting excited. And I'm so glad that we did this cast and somebody told me that Ironmonger was criminal. Like, I've looked at his card in MCP DB multiple times and I just keep,
he's a criminal.
Eyes, go there.
My first thought was immediately Shadowlands. I was like, oh man, we can get so spicy here. So spicy.
Damn, Shadowlands has a pretty cool, getting Prowler, Echo, and now Ironmonger.
Yes, that's actually a very cool list. Like, you're very fast. You have ways of making people drop, ways of attacking people. You have ways of picking up extra tokens. You're just like, I'm just going to do something.
Yeah, there's a lot to like there. Okay, well, I think we were going to close things out there and just say, if you're at Adepticon, come up and say hi. My only request is I want to put names to Discord handles, like faces to Discord handles. So like, feel free, like if you're coming up to say hi, be like, I'm blah, blah, blah on Discord.
Sometimes
right?
people will use their
our conversations.
Yeah, they'll use their real name and they'll say, "Hey, my name is X." Or go, "Hey, blah blah," and then I won't connect that person name with the handle and not realize it's the same person. Yeah. And like they're like, "Oh yeah," like, "Oh hey," like they'll make a reference. I'm like, "How did you? Oh, okay, wait a second."
Oh, you are.
It's like, I do know you.
X2 Sean 2X, not just any Sean. You are okay. Yeah.
It's just like TTS matches. Be like, have you played it? I was like, oh, we played. Blah, blah. I was like, how long ago was that?
Yeah, totally fair. All right. Well, why don't we, on that note, if you come up and say hi at Adepticon, I want to hear your move throw story. Like, come up and like tell us. So that should be the thing. We can come back and we can tell afterwards are we going to record Monday after we're back, assuming that we're not sick?
Yeah, I would like to. I'll be back early enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's
because the time change, sleep and stuff.
I think I should be back early enough as well. So as long as I'm not sick, I think we do it, and we should tell like the best move throw stories from.
Yes. I mean, I can take notes.
Everyone.
We write stuff down and see if we can put out some nice juicy ones.
Okay. And I'm going to be trying to post as many videos and stuff as I can
throughout
direct from Adepticon while we're still there. So check out the Omnis Protocol YouTube channel, same where you can watch this show's video. I'm going to be trying to like post stuff. I asked Hank if I could do kind of an interview when I get there. And so it's going to be kind of a crazy day. So I wouldn't say that this is 100%. What I was thinking, start with like interview Hank for 20, 30 minutes and just like go from there and like see what again.
Yeah, we're going to be very busy. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Give us the move throw story at Adepticon. Later, nerds.
What would you prefer? Yellow spandex